My name is Betsy Potter, and I am a costumer in the Hollywood industry and worked as a designer in television. And I sew, I bead, I make things, I make patterns. There's almost nothing I don't do. My background is that I really loved history. I liked both the social and economic events of history, not just what happened and who fought whom. I wanted to be a costume curator, but there were no costume curators except at the Smithsonian and I think the Field Museum in Chicago. I was doing theater in New York, and I met a couple of Broadway stars, and those Broadway stars ended up being TV stars. And that's how I got offered a job out here in Hollywood. In terms of running the wardrobe department, when I first started, we had to create a space to put this wardrobe. And it sort of fell to me to take care of it. And then eventually, when I wasn't doing a show, I would stay there and organize it and became the head of the wardrobe. If you historically know Norman shows, they sort of evolve one from another, so that Maude is related to the Jeffersons. They tend to be interrelated. But we shared clothes on the shows. That's one of the most amazing and unusual and sort of, well, it's done today, but it's different. So lots of times we would see something and we would need something and see it on another show. And because we were all working for the same company, you could ask to borrow something. So I remember turning on the TV one time and seeing an outfit I had put on Mackenzie Phillips on 2 other television shows. So to borrow clothes from another show, to put on a different person, worn a different way, actually made life easier because you had accessibility to clothes. So it was really an asset and a help to have other clothes from other shows that you could use. And I can remember borrowing things for silver spoons, I think, from Married with Children. Yeah, I kept all those clothes for about 35 years. I've moved those with me over and over, and I have used some of them, but over time I began to realize that they had a value. I mean, I was really not anxious to use Red Fox's suit on other people because I realized I put it up for an exhibit once and I used it and I thought, if it doesn't come back, I will really be upset about this because it was Red Fox's suit. Some of them I didn't know because it wasn't my show. It was clothes that people would call and give me clothes from the show from Married with Children when it finally ended because they wanted them to be preserved. I tried to find information about them, and that was part of my interest when I finally found Brianna Livy to work on them with the Golden Closet, because that was her focus as well. Because nobody really thinks of television costumes as having an importance. Everybody seems to be, all the auction houses are focused on film costumes, but they don't see TV as important, and TV is like in our houses, in our lives. So it was really interesting because Brianna and I have discovered that we both have sort of the same focus, which is the preservation of the clothes, the restoration of the clothes to how they were originally designed by the designer. What did the designer want them to be? And that is a basic focus. I respect the costume designer and that they very specifically chose these clothes and made that line, cut that cuff, proportioned it for that actor. But these clothes were really important, and that they teach us something is part of what I'm looking for. And so Brianna's the only person I know who has that same focus. And the Golden Closet is trying to get people to be aware that these clothes have importance in our history and in our future. Part of the past and important to our future.